Today we are starting a new unit on geometry. So today we're looking at points, lines, and planes. So we're going to start off with some definitions. A point has no dimensions and is represented by a small dot. So anytime we have a point, we have to label it. So we have a dot, and then we have to label it by using a capital letter. So here we're going to name this point, point A. So name it by point A. And it's always capital. A line is also one dimension and is represented by a straight line with arrows on each end. To label it, we have to have 2 points. So to make a line, you always have to have 2 points to make a line. So we're going to label these A and B. So here we can name this line A, B, but we can't just leave it as AB. We have to say it's a line. So we draw a line above and then put arrows on the ends to represent the line AB. We can also represent it by a small cursive letter at the edge of the line. So this is a cursive L, so we can say this is line L. Line L. So there's a couple other types of lines. A segment is only represented with 2 endpoints. So it's a line that ends at 2 points. It does not continue on. So here we also have to label it with points. So point A and point B. We still have to name it. So this is line segment AB. Before, if it was just a line, we had the line above with the arrows. Here we're just going to draw a straight line above. And that's represented as a line segment AB. Our third type of line is a ray. A ray is a straight line, has one endpoint that goes off with an arrow. So it's combining the line and the segment together. So for a line, you also have to have 2 points to name it. So here we also have the endpoint as a defined point, A, but then we also have to name a point here. We're going to just call this one B. So we have to name it ray AB. But we can't have the line or the segment above AB. We have to show it's a ray. So it's going to be a line with one arrow, shown as a set or a ray. Collinear points are points that lay on the same line. So A and B here are collinear because they're on the same line. For all of the lines that we drew, we had A and B on the same line, so they're collinear. Look at a plane. A plane now is 2 dimensions. It's represented by a shape that can look like a floor or a wall, but it never ends. It's all enclosed. So to label it, we have to label it by 3 points. So 3 points make a plane, 2 points make a line. So let's say we have, let's change it up, point C, D, and E inside our plane. So we can name it by those 3 points. So plane C, D, and E. So CDE. Or we can name the plane itself off to the corner as a capital letter. Here, we can just say this is plane, the whole thing, M. So plane M. We have one more definition on the back. So we talked about collinear, now coplanar. Coplanar points are points that lay on the same plane. So going back, we have C, D, and E. All these are on the same plane. So those 3 points are coplanar. If we had a point off over here, if we labeled it A off of here, that would be non-coplanar. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So number 1, name a plane with 3 letters. So again, a plane, we have here the enclosed shape. It can be any 3 points to make a plane, but it has to be within the plane. So we have the letters A, B, D, E, G, and H. Any 3 letters there we can name to make it. So let's just say 3 of them to make it would be A, B, E. A, B, E. You could have picked A, D, G, or any 3 combination. Number 2, AC intersects the plane at what point? So AC we have right here, this line. So line AC is going through the plane. So this is on the plane here and goes through this dotted line here shows it's going through the plane as if you had a piece of paper laying flat. Your line's going right through it. So that's going and hitting through C. So it's AC is intersecting the point right at B. HG and GE intersects at what point? So here's HG and GE. Both of these lines connect or intersect at point G. Name 3 collinear. Collinear, think of the word line. So they're on the same line. So what points are on the same line, but we need 3 of them? So the only one, we have a line here but only makes 2. A line here that only makes 2. This one makes 3. So that would be line A, B, C. You could have named it CBA. Order does not matter. Just make sure you go in the same order. Doesn't matter if you start at A or start at C. Name a point not on the plane. So here's our plane. What point is not on it? We have F, and then we also have C. Either one works. And then our points F, G, E, and B coplanar. Coplanar, remember, means it has to be on the same plane. So let's see, F is off the plane, so it's no automatically. Okay, let's look at the last set of problems with the second figure. How many planes are there in the figure? So we have this plane here at the bottom, and then we have this pyramid. So the bottom of the pyramid already sits on the same plane. So that's one plane, and then there are 1, 2, the back end of 3, and this other side is 4 sides of the pyramid. That's 4 in the bottom, so there are 5 planes. How many planes contain H? So here's H right there. So it's sitting at the bottom, so that's the bottom's 1. And then we have 2 sides that connect with H. So then that makes 3 planes. Name 3 collinear points. Collinear, remember, is on the same line. So let's look at our lines. And most of our lines only have 2 points on it, except for this line right here. We have J, T, N, or we could call it N, T, J. Let's go backwards and do N, T, J. Name 2 points not on the plane X, B, N. So X, B, N is down here, so our bottom plane. Need 2 points not on the bottom plane. So 2 points not on the bottom. Here's our bottom. Be up here, so J and T. Name 4 points that are coplanar. Coplanar, remember, is not that are on the same plane. So we need 4 points that are on the same plane. So let's see. We could do our bottom plane. So X, H, N, B. We could do our side plane here and do J, T, and B. Or we have our back plane, J, H, and T. There's only 3 possibilities here for 4 points. So let's do J, T, and B. These are points. And then the last question, name a line that does not contain J. So J is all the way up here. So this line contains it. All the ones coming straight down contain J. So we need one on the bottom here. So we could do HN, NB, BX, or XH. Let's do our last one. I said XH. We're naming a line. So line XH, we do not want errors because this is a line